games like this. I can't even play Borderlands or Kingdom Hearts without my game system crashing. So we're gonna try for this. If this works, we're gonna play for a couple hours, and then we'll see. All right, we're gonna continue. We're gonna start a new game because I kept, Dear Mr. Charles Reed, as you requested, I've researched the outburst of historians and visions in the city of Oakmont, Mass. It turns out that your assumptions were correct. Sudden cases are indeed more frequent here. Men and women from across the country are drawn to Oakmont, haunted by visions similar to yours, in a city drowning presence of something great yet unknown. As luck has it, I believe we have stumbled upon the source of your alignment. And the person who might help you with it, prepare yourself. Then come to Oakmont, and as soon as you can, I will meet you. Johannes Vanderberg. This guy is... Octopi? Octopus? Cthulhu? Hello? No, I don't need that. I need this. It's so precious. Oh. Your friends are all dead, I guess. Zombies? Yeah, not zombies. Zombies? No, not zombies. It's his ghost. Did he die? Did he die? That's a question I often ask myself. Are you dead? There's Cthulhu! Oh my gosh! My assumptions were correct, Cthulhu! Those of you that don't know, especially little kids, it's like, people are calling it a god monster thing. It's like Godzilla. If Godzilla... Oh yeah, it's like Godzilla. Sort of similar. More yet. Oh yes, warning. This may have this will have violence and cussing, so just letting you guys know.
Hope I never have to use it, but something tells me I will.
Told you, violence. Oh, you read this. Okay. And take this.
Never trust a tourist advertisement.
At last, Mr. Charles Reed. What a pleasure to finally meet you in the flesh.
Nice to meet you.
Johannes Vanderberg, at your service. I did promise to meet you the moment you arrived.
Ah, much obliged, Mr. Vanderberg. I guess I didn't expect you to mean so literally.
Please call me Johannes. But where are my manners? Welcome to the proud city of Oakmont. Alas, now is not its finest hour. though it is its most important.
That's an eye-catching suit.
Thank you, Mr. Reed. A mere flood is no excuse for one to abandon one's style.
I take it you're a big fan of yellow.
Well, I have a particular weakness for it. Call it a personal quirk.
You said you know someone who can help me with my
Personal quirk, huh?
problem. The visions have been getting worse.
Such vividness of dreams is not uncommon
UA
here in
High.
Oakmont. By chance, the man I spoke of, Robert Throgmorton, is already at the port. He has dedicated a lot of time and effort to investigate this issue. Alas, I fear he has a more pressing matter on his
I'm talking
hands.
over this guy. Sorry.
How can I find Mr. Throgmorton?
Don't worry, you can't miss him. Throgmorton tends to stand out from the crowd.
Reaching Oakmont was no easy task. Most maps I found didn't mark it, and this rickety packet ship is the only one that sailed here. Why is that?
Oakmont is no ordinary place. Its unique geographical position and the flood, a recent natural disaster, make it nigh impossible to reach. But you made it, Mr. Reed. I'm sure the tides of fate would have brought you here one way or another.
Something tells me you're not a person to trust. I don't know. I don't want to trust you.
I'll need a place to lay my head while I'm here. Any recommendations?
Fear not. I've already feathered a nest for you. There's a room in your name at the Devil's Reef Hotel. Here's the key.
Sounds charming.
Don't judge a book by its cover, Mr. Reed.
I'm gonna judge.
What's the best things at the hotel?
Most locals go by foot, or by boat. I've got the latter sorted for you. There's one waiting outside the port.
You're too kind, Johannes. Can you steer me towards the Devil's Reef?
Take this map. I've marked the hotel and a few other key places.
Other places? Like what?
You're a private eye, yes? Well, I've highlighted the police station, city archive, newspaper, places you'll need to get to the truth. This city is insular, its ways mysterious. No one will take you by the hand, so you better know where to turn in search of a lead.
How do you fill your days, Mr. Vanderberg?
I host a philosophy club for the like-minded intelligentsia, gathering seeds of thought, like moths drawn to a flame.
Does Oakmont really have much of a market for philosophy these days?
There is no consciousness without pain, Mr. Reed. No better moment for clarity than times of hardship.
Well, that's it for now, I think. Thanks for helping me get my bearings.
No. The pleasure was mine, Mr. Reed.
Oh, before you go, how can I get in touch with you later?
Don't worry about that. I'm the kind of man who finds you.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I got some. Calamari, anyone? Oh, that's so gross. Oh my gosh, that poor shark. Looks like he got eaten. Those are not quite white, but too tiny for that. Anyone?
I don't care about your petty
Oh,
excuses.
Jesus, the monkey.
No one leaves the port until my son is found, and that is final.
Excuse me. Are you Robert Throgmorton?
I am, but not interested. Go away.
The name's Charles Reed. I'm a private investigator, just arrived from Boston. I was told you might be able to help me.
Private investigator, you say? Well, perhaps we can help each other.
If I may ask, what happened to your son?
Why do you care? What's your angle, outsider?
Well, like I said, I'm a PI. Finding people is kind of my specialty.
Is it? Well, Albert was part of a deep-sea expedition I commissioned. This useless fool over here says he found Albert washed ashore in a lifeboat. Says he was barely conscious, out of his mind, talking gibberish in some other language. That he even tried to bite him.
And you don't believe him?
Complete malarkey. I know my Albert. I raised him strong and smart, the best of his kind. It couldn't have been him. Albert's disappearance is the work of Innsmouthers, mark my words.
I've heard you're the man to speak to about visions, outbreaks of hysteria. I'm trying to get to the bottom of it myself.
Another newcomer with another problem. Yes, I know what you speak of.
Can I ask you a few questions?
How dare you? My son Albert is missing, and no one in this Innsmouther-ridden city will do a damn thing. But yes, let's talk about your dreams.
I take it you're not the biggest fan of these Innsmouthers.
Those fish-faced freaks have overrun this city since the police burned Innsmouth to the ground. But now, those filthy migrants occupy half this damn city. The port, Grimhaven Bay, Salvation Harbor, the shells. They are everywhere.
So they're just refugees.
Hardly. They've taken work from the local fishermen. They stir and agitate against us, the Throgmorton family. We are the pillar of this community, not to mention that crime rates have skyrocketed. Simply speaking, they are a big stinking pile of trouble.
Please forgive the question, but I've never met a man quite like you before.
That's because no man measures up to the Throgmorton lineage. Proud and powerful blood flows through our veins. My father united with a certain royal family, which has blessed all our offspring with these exquisite features.
Mr. Throgmorton, let me help you. I'm rather good at tracking down missing people. I'll find Albert.
What makes you think you can do it? Oakmont is not exactly friendly to new arrivals.
Let's just say I tend to see things that others miss. And anyway, what have you got to lose? Sounds like you could use every man you can get.
Vera. You have a point, newcomer.
Sorry, did you just say Vera? What does that mean?
You had better get used to the Oakmont dialect, outsider. That is, if you want to fit in. It is a fascinating blend. Vera means fine. I was saying, we have a deal.
I see. Thank you. I need to know more about what happened to Albert.
Dane, did you not listen at all? I already told you everything. After leaving on the expedition, Albert was found on the shore in a lifeboat. This fisherman supposedly brought him to the house, and then left to call me. But when I arrived here, my son was nowhere to be seen.
Anything else?
Clearly, something suspicious occurred inside the house. I suggest you stop dawdling and go see for yourself.
You mentioned a lifeboat. Is it still around?
Yes. Face the house, then to the left is a beach that borders a fence. You'll find it there.
As much as I'm enjoying the weather, Mr. Throgmorton, it's time for me to get started.
Find my son, newcomer, and be quick about it.
My fisherman's house. Like I said, I played this because I was trying to do it off air, and
Huh.
well,
This dog mat looks better than the owner's bed.
things got a little bit screwy. Like I told you, my PlayStation kept kicking me out.
The book is damp and damaged, but clearly well cared for.
Sardines, anyone? I'm guessing that they are sardines. But
It would take tremendous effort to move this thing, let alone tossing it over like this. There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. I can barely recognize the face of the poor fella. He was beaten to a pulp.
what the heck was that?
Hello? Hey, can you hear me? It's okay. I'm Charles Reed,
Oops.
Private Eye.
Sorry.
Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son.
Oh, okay. What do you want?
I want to know what happened here. Every detail.
I don't remember much. Me, Paul, and Lewis, we were here. This is our house. Barry was outside, on his business. Then he came back carrying Throgmorton's son. He was unconscious, barely breathing. Barry left again to call Mr. Robert.
Then what?
We put the guy in Lewis's room. Then he started to make these horrible sounds and... okay, my head began to burst. And he woke up. And after that, I don't remember a thing, just dreams. Drowned streets, a sleeping giant, a voice that called me...
That sounds familiar. Tell me about yourself.
Name's Will Hammond. I'm a fisherman. We all are. Live here together. Me, poor fella Paul, Barry, and Innsmouther Lewis Flynn. We moved here after the flood. I worked on the railroad, but the rail ain't kicking anymore, so I started fishing. It was at or starve.
Where are all the other guys?
That's Paul there on the floor. Kay be with him. Barry's outside with Mr. Throgmorton. Lucky rascal missed everything. And I have no idea what Lewis or Throgmorton's son got to. Starting to suspect the worst.
Do you know how Paul died?
I don't know. When I pulled myself together, he was already gone. Kay have mercy on his soul.
Who is this Kay you keep mentioning?
Outsider, show some respect. Kay is our lord, our light, our love.
Sorry, I didn't know. I'll leave you to it. Take care of yourself, Will.
Please, detective, sir, tell me the truth. Could it be me? Did I kill Paul? Or Kay? Did I kill him?
I don't know yet, Will. The police will stop anyone coming in or out of here, so I suggest you just try and get some rest.
I'm afraid of what I might dream.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Okay. You might not like it.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
Oh, yeah, alright. Here's the house.
Something with this helmet gives me chills. What's wrong with it?
Oh, someone finds this. My name is Albert Morton, and this is my will. I want to warn you. Don't go to the desk below. There's something playing. You should never have done that. Everything should remain in that cave. Professor, again, unreadable. I fear that become of me, singing in my brain, dancing my eyelids every time I close my eyes. Unreadable. The circle goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Fearful. The end. It comes. I must warn everyone. I must tell my father. It's here. Okay. That was...
Can't catch a mackerel since those Innsmouthers took over the fishing business.
You like it here, newcomer? Well, get used to it. No one leaves Oakmont nowadays.
Me thinks that this is all a plague thing.
Mr. Throgmorton, I found this in the lifeboat. Looks like it's your son's will.
Give it to me. Oh, my boy, what did you get yourself into? If only I hadn't sent you on that cursed expedition.
Bye.
Still doing this. Okay, we've been in here. Okay, this, you were right over here. Why have you moved?
My head! I still hear those voices.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
Choo choo.
Grima, Nehri, Grima, Gebheil, Nugulein, Haftin.
What the heck? Okay. Alright.
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
What's happening?
Okay, let's see what we have here.
Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Yeah, run! Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
Yeah, run!
I gave you clear instructions, did I not? I gave you clear instructions.
Don't
did
do
I
anything
not?
stupid, newcomer. And keep your hands where I can see them.
I've said everything I know.
Run! Yeah, run! Take this, ape face.
What's happening?
I think I know what to do.
What?
Take this, ape face. Yeah, run!
When Albert Throgmorton woke up, he was not himself. He attacked the fishermen, and his hysteria spread to them. When he got wounded, he fled.
The heck?
My head. I still hear those voices.
Let's see what you find, newcomer.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
got it.
There was a fierce fight here, but someone tried to flee. So the fisherman pursued Albert, even let off a few shots. There's something in the pocket.
Louis, please just give me one more chance. One more week. I know I owe you, but I'm unaware like everyone else right now. I don't yet have enough stock to operate the bar smoothly. With the fuzz snooping around about the port. But don't worry, I've struck a nice deal with the proper people, and should have a steady supplies channel soon. Just one more week, and I'll return everything with double interest. Peter.
The blood is fresh. Whomever it belongs to could not have got far. The door won't budge. The door won't budge. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate. One fatal round through the forehead. That's no accident. This was deliberate.
Is that a whale? So that's a small flippin' whale. Could be a dolphin. Well, I solved the mystery of a missing person who is dead. Lewis left the crime scene.
Mr. Throgmorton, I've encountered something,
What? I don't have all day.
some unusual creatures, and they sure weren't friendly.
You've seen a wild beast, Mr. Reed. I'm somewhat surprised to see you still alive. Those unsettling things appeared after the flood. I've commissioned a few studies on them, but we know little more than when we started. They're aggressive, but fortunately not immune to gunfire.
Yeah, I learned that firsthand.
Try to avoid them when possible. And when you can't, keep your weapons handy.
Mr. Throgmorton, I'm afraid I have bad news.
Oh, no.
Yeah, I found your son in the basement of a nearby warehouse. I'm sorry, but he was murdered. Shot in the head and the body hidden.
No. It cannot be true. No, no, no. I don't believe it. No.
My condolences, Mr. Throgmorton. I had hoped for a happier outcome.
Your condolences will not bring him back. So much of our blood spilt for nothing. So much effort in vain. My poor Albert. Tell me you know who did it. I want to look him in the eyes, make him beg for mercy.
Seems like he was a fisherman by the name of Lewis. He had a gun and pursued Albert after he fled the house.
Lewis it is, then. What do you know of him?
Turns out you were right. He's an Innsmouther.
Nah. Those filthy scum have done it now. When I'm through with them, they will rue the day they dared lay a finger on a Throgmorton. Bring me that dirtbag Lewis. He and I are due a reckoning. Do this for me, and I'll help you with anything you need. I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
The port is closed by order of Robert Throgmorton. Back off.
I need to get... Screw it, guys. I'm going in. Alright, go back and tell him, look.
Got a spare bullet, fella? I ain't eaten in days.
Stay alert. Monsters lurk underground. They're everywhere.
Ugh, I'll miss the carpenter's food giveaway with this darn port closure.
Stop it.
Welcome to Under the Keel. What do you want?
I'm looking for a man by the name of Lewis Flynn. Any chance he's here?
Yeah. Even if I knew, I don't rat to newcomers.
As it happens, I know you owe a debt to Mr. Flynn. Trouble is, I found your note near the dead body of Albert Throgmorton, son of Robert. So, it seems Lewis is in trouble. Might have even come here to hide. But you hand him over, and he won't be back to collect what you owe. Get me?
Throck. That would explain the blood. Fine. If it gets me out of this mess, you can have him.
So?
He's upstairs. Here's the key. You gotta promise to deal with him, once and for all. But save the shooting for outside, huh?
Smart man. There's your good deed for the day.
Smart man.
I've seen some unsettling creatures around. Like nothing I've ever encountered. What are they?
So you met a wild beast, newcomer. No one knows what they are, but consider yourself lucky to still be in one piece. They arrived in the flood. Some say they come from the sea. Others that they are Kay's punishment for us.
And what do you say?
If it bleeds, you can kill it. Keep your gun handy. And if you want to erase the memory, I sell a perfect cure right here. Remember, better to be a coward and live than brave and dead. Unless you're a newcomer.
Bye.
What a jerk. I understand why they do this to people who are new, towns and stuff like that.
Hey, who are you? What are you doing?
Charles Reed, private investigator. Mr. Throgmorton hired me to find his son Albert, so I think you know why I'm here.
Throg. That darn bartender. It was all that crazy ape's fault. You hear me?
Calm down. I only want to speak, for now. But no, if you reach for your gun, you'll hit the floor faster than you can say poetic justice.
I got nothing to hide.
Start at the beginning. What happened?
We were in our house, me, Paul, and Will. Barry'd gone to the sea. Though I told him that it would only bring bad luck. If he'd listened to me, we'd all still be alive.
Come on, Lewis. Focus.
Right. Well, Barry dragged that damn ape to our house. He was bragging about how much Mr. Throgmorton would give us for saving his son. But that ape, he was out cold. Then woke in an instant and started screaming, attacking us. After that, can't remember a thing.
You shot to kill. No warning, no second chances. You pursued Albert even after he fled. Why?
I can't remember it. When he woke, it was like a bloody mist descended over me. First thing I recall after is that darn warehouse and me covered in blood.
Emerald Akbar better.
I had no idea what happened, though. I suspected it had something to do with that ape. Turns out, I was right.
The things you did to Albert don't look like a bloody rage. A fatal shot to the head, a hidden body. One might start to wonder if it was deliberate.
I don't know what to say. I wasn't myself.
I hear there's a bit of a feud between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. Care to fill me in?
Those apes hated us from the moment we arrived in Oakmont. Our home was destroyed. We just needed a place to stay. The Blackwood Grand family sheltered us, but others were not as hospitable.
Can we not
We needed
have
jobs, food, and medicine.
Can we not
The city
have a
denied it
close-up
all.
of this guy?
So?
We had to fight for every crumb of bread. And those Throgmortons in their high castle only made our life harder, always conspiring behind our backs, always setting people against us. I'd love to see them suffer like we suffered.
You mentioned a grand family. What do you mean?
So you're a newcomer, huh? Explains a lot.
Yeah, a newcomer with a gun. Answer the question.
Okay. People here are crazy about bloodlines and tradition and reputation. The head honchos of Oakmont are called the Grand Families. There's the Carpenters, who control most of the city's underworld, the Blackwoods, who share kin with Innsmouthers through the Marsh family.
And let me guess, the Throgmortons.
Right, those filthy apes. Now that most of the Blackwoods are gone, there's nobody left to protect us Innsmouthers.
I think I've got all I need.
Please, Mr. Reed, don't tell Throgmorton about me. I know I'm in no position to ask. I didn't want to do whatever it is I did. Honest, have mercy, please. I have a family. Without me, they'll starve.
This is not exactly cut and dry. I need some time to think.
Perhaps I can offer something to grease your grinds. I still have a few bullets on me.
You think you're the first person to offer me a bribe?
Please, Mr. Reed.
Now, don't try my patience further, Mr. Flynn.
Out to murder Albert Thoroltman. He had a motive too. The mutual hatred between the Innsmouthers and the Throgmortons. I must tell Robert Throgmorton the truth and bring the murderer to justice. Alright, let's tell him the truth. Hello. We're gonna tell him the truth. Because I don't like murderers. No matter how, no matter what. The guy didn't think. The guy was under a spell sort of thing, and still, murder is murder.
Just as I suspected, the Innsmouther Lewis is responsible for your son's murder. He's hiding at the local bar. Just ask the bartender. Seems like he had a bone to pick with your family, and took it out on Albert.
Oh, that scum won't be getting off easy. The whole city shall see what happens when you cross the Throgmortons. Justice, bittersweet as it is, shall be served. It's rare for a newcomer to make himself so useful. Thank you.
Mr. Throgmorton, I hate to press you, but do you think you could help me now?
Yes, you've earned it. Okay, to think a newcomer barely off the boat solves a crime the police couldn't, but I digress.
Hello.
Remind me, what brought you to Oakmont?
Got off. I'm trying to find a source of my visions. I'm investigating a case of insanity. My visions.
I think I'm going mad, Mr. Throgmorton. I see things, visions, and I needed to stop. I was drawn here, or guided, or I don't know. But I believe the source of this madness is here, in Oakmont.
You're not wrong, Mr. Reed. An inexplicable hysteria spread through Oakmont after the flood. I funded an expedition to explore recent geological activity that may be responsible.
Why geological expedition?
A geological expedition? I'm not sure I follow.
I have reason to believe the Flood and this madness have the same source. As above, so below. So I sent men to find out.
Any link between visions and hysteria?
Do these cases of hysteria involve shared visions as well?
Since the Flood, many Oakmonters have had similar nightmares. Indeed, Professor Doe, the expedition leader, complained of them herself.
Waterlogged ruins with unnatural architecture, a sleeping giant, drowned streets, and a voice calling from the depths.
Her words exactly. She proposed the expedition, desperately wanting to find the cause.
So far, you think the Flood is
You mentioned the
unnatural?
Flood.
Oh.
You think it's more than just a natural disaster.
You weren't here, Mr. Reed. What happened defied scientific explanation.
Any discoveries so far?
Has your expedition found anything?
I do not know. Albert was part of it. His passing cannot be coincidence. Why was he alone at the port? And where are the others?
You think your son was killed because the expedition uncovered something?
Is it so hard to believe? I had no news for a week, then Albert, the only one I could trust, comes ashore and is killed.
It does sound suspicious.
Mr. Reed, I want you to find out what's going on. I expect you're as interested in the expedition's results as I am.
Let's
How
talk
about my
payments.
expenses?
They will be reimbursed after you complete your task. And of course, you've earned some compensation for your work here at the port. I'll also include a fair advance in bullets.
Bullets?
The dollar lost its use here, Mr. Reed. After the Flood, Oakmont returned to bartering. Bullets mean more than bills.
Tell me more about the expedition.
If I'm going to look into this, I'll need to know more. Where should I start?
I'll give you the address of the expedition's headquarters and a key.
That's all you can tell me?
Let me be clear, Reed. You do not speak to me like that again.
I'm sorry, Mr. Throgmorton. I just meant the more I know, the better.
I am a busy man. I funded the research, but left all preparations to Professor Doe and Albert. When you've finished, come see me at the Throgmorton family manor. It's in Old Grove. Here, I'll show you.
Hook, line, and sinker.
I gave you clear instructions, did I not?
Lost that sea. Alright. I only really think that guy was from the Planet of the Apes movie. Not the new ones. From, like, 2012. But the ones from 1980s, I want to say, or 70s. Either way. I love movies. Remind me of apes from What the heck was that? Robert Throckmorton founded an expedition to discover the origin of the mass hysteria gripping Oakmont. The expedition was to explore the seabed near Oakmont. Collecting with the expedition was soon lost. Albert Throgmont was the only known survivor. He was subsequently murdered. I was hired to find any other expedition members, dead or alive. Frogmont will be waiting for my report in his manor in southern Old Grove. This is actually a pretty cool storyline, although it is kind of quite confusing with the whole psychic thing, but I like it. Oh, hey, is that picture?
Crew of the Cyclops. Semper Fortis, brothers.
I didn't see any Cyclops. I don't know what exactly sank the USS Cyclops. Only remember the screams and the metal creaking, water filling the deck, and my headache. Worst I ever had. I found myself among the floating seaweed, drowning. A nearby piece of boat helped me survive and reach the shore of a small island. They found me on it later. I lost my track. They found me on it later, starving, half mad, and babbling about the ancient ruins and their destinies. The officials said none of what I thought I'd seen was real. But my memories are true. Strange powers gained after the ordeal prove it. I found something horrible on an island. Something old and dank and slithering. And it still haunts me. Okay. That guy has some issues.
Never again, they say.
The numbers of attack of the Innsmouth immigrants has increased. Raids are intensifying with more and more Innsmouthers exposed to abuse and assault. Sometimes the whole family are found dead in their houses. Police are on the case, with several illegal Innsmouthers businesses captured and their owners sent to jail. The city ought to have been clean of these fish-faced scum long ago, said Robert Throgmorton, head of the Throgmorton Grand family. I regret only one thing. It all started too late. Had we not neglected our civic duties, my son Albert would still be here with us. Mr. Reed, it seems that you overextended yourself while conducting that investigation for Mr. Thornton. Forgive me for the audacity, but I brought you to the Devil's Reef while you were unconscious. Please take more care of yourself in the future. I won't be there for you every time. Jonas. That's a nice guy. That's a nice guy. So this game has Cthulhu. I'm not joking, it has Cthulhu in it.
Finally, you're awake. Gotta tell you though, mister.
Another fish.
You wanna stay on here? You stop making all that noise.
Noise? What noise are you talking about?
I expect my guests to be respectable. Moans, chanting, all that kind of thing. It stops, all right?
Got any proof it was me? It could have been one of my neighbors. I slept like a rock. I didn't hear a thing.
That's exactly what a newcomer would say. Your neighbors are respectable people and would never do such a thing. Don't think your yellow-clad patron means you get away with everything.
You're not exactly friendly with your guests. Are we the ones keeping you in business?
All these newcomers after the flood, they're stark raving mad.
What do you mean?
You can't imagine the crazy notes and books I find after they move out. Only thing they're good for is lighting the kitchen stove.
Can I have a look?
I knew it. I tell you, no one sane would be interested. And you want to take a look? Well, fine. Take what you wish.
Oh, that's a giant crab. No, it's a giant crab. Walter, Kay, help you if I hear you're peddling your chaps, cheap, affordable living. Again, I could live with your renting out of beast-ridden flop houses, but you're cutting into my profits. Don't make that mistake. I know you're on the fish market, and I have dangerous people living here that I can send after you. You've been warned, Vic. Someone's not friendly. Sorry about that. I accidentally clicked on my thing. Dear Victor, how's Auckland treating you? Should you require any support? The Blackwoods will be happy to help you. I have arranged for that. Regarding your questions, I don't know where Robert went. Sadly, only that he did not stay in Innsmouth. Perhaps there is a hope he didn't perish in that cursed raid. Take good care of the hotel, please. Plenty of our relatives were interested in the property, but your still my favorite nephew. I know the Devil's Reef is in good hands. Kind regards on Portra. More gunpowder! Alright, I'm afraid we're all out of time. But when we get to, well, tomorrow I will post more videos like this. Leave a like in the description, and I'll see you later.